Hello, my name is Onyedika Maobi from Thimbos Creations. I'm a fashion designer, a pattern drafter, and a pattern drafting tutor. So today we'll be rounding off or wrapping up basic bodice pattern. We've done the back, the front, and now we want to talk about the final shoulder seam, the back shoulder seam, and the back shoulder dart, and the waist darts. That's the back waist dart and the front waist dart, and the lower waistline. Okay, so this is the pattern already. So I'm going to show you how to do your lower waistline. Then I'm going to teach you also for the for the back shoulder dart and the final shoulder seam, and again the waist darts, and that will be a wrap for our basic bodice pattern. So at the waist, on the waistline, this is the waistline. Let me lay there so you see. This is the waistline, and so the same thing here, waistline. Okay, so on the waistline, just below at the center front line, now below the waistline, you take your for this size. This is a bust 84. I'm using bust 84 for this pattern. That is the pattern I'm using. As in the pattern I made is for somebody that the bust is what 84. So, and it's a small size. So for the lower waistline, I'm going to use what 1 cm, 1 cm here, and here at the waist point here. Now I'll use what half cm, that is 0.5 cm. Here I'll use what 0.5 cm. Okay, so now with my ruler, I'm going to connect this to this, then this to this place. Okay, let me mention that if you are working with a bigger size, then the lower waistline should increase to at least 1.5 cm. Okay, so that it is not constant that the person's that it is 1 cm for lower waistline. It is according to the size that you're working with. Okay, so I connect with my ruler. I connect this point to this point here, and this is it. Sorry, my marker is not right. Okay, then I connect this point to this point now, to the real waist at the back, at the center back. Okay, and okay, and here comes our lower waist line. Okay, it is always very important to fix this because it helps in the fitting of your clothes, especially if you are going to be joining your clothes from here. You really need this lower waistline. Please don't forget it while drafting your pattern. So the next is what our shoulder dart for the back. Yes, the back also has shoulder dart. How do I go about this shoulder dart? Okay, first, that is I'm assuming now the person that I'm making this pattern for is the person's shoulder is 12 cm. Now first thing I do is to take the measurement of the shoulder here of my pattern, and it registers what 13.5 cm. Simple thing I do, I subtract 12 from 13.5 and it gives me 1.5. So the excess is what will be my dart. That is the excess, which is what 1.5 is now what will be my dart. How do I go about this? Now I will get the center of this shoulder. Okay, because it's 13.5, the center will be 6.35. Sorry, 6.75. Okay, so this is at the center. Now coming here to draw the dart, first the dart will stop 2 cm above the back line. So I take 2 cm now from this is the back line, remember the back line. So I take 2 cm above the back line and mark. Okay, then when you are drawing the shoulder dart, it is supposed to come, the first leg of the shoulder dart is supposed to come on a right angle this way. it's supposed to come on a right angle. Okay, so with my ruler, if you look at this ruler, you notice that there is a marking that shows a right angle. This is a marking that shows a right angle, so it will guide me in drawing my shoulder dart. Okay, so I mark it. Okay, remember it is 2 cm above here, above the back line, so I'm still going to extend this line that I marked. All right, let me be sure that it is 2 centimeters, so I mark it here. Okay, so I take it down, connecting this to this point. Okay, and then from there I take the measurement. Remember what we got was what, 1.5. I take the measurement 1.5. so this is 1 and this is 1.5. okay, I connect it to this point here, and I've got my shoulder dart, my back shoulder dart. Okay, so the next one is my final shoulder seam. Yes, because you can't use your pattern this way, you definitely need your final shoulder seam. For me to do that, I'm going to fold my dart over to that's the first dart leg, over to the second dart leg. That is taking it from NP towards SP, from NP towards SP, not this way. Okay, so this is what I do in order to get an even line. Making sure that this place is okay. So I connect from NP to SP with a ruler. Okay, now with my tracing wheel, I trace along the line too, so that I'm going to get the line. Okay, now I open it. You see what happened? So this now becomes my final shoulder seam. Okay, this becomes my final shoulder seam. Okay, it's not difficult to get. So the last but not the least is our waist darts. Okay, so first, how do we go about getting our waist darts? The simple thing there is the total of your pattern, the total of your actual waist minus the total of the total of your pattern waist minus the total of your actual waist. Let me say it again. The total of your pattern waist minus the total of your actual waist. So to get the actual waist of the pattern, the dart of the pattern, it is gotten by removing the half waist of the pattern, half of the waist of the pattern. Now the total waist of this pattern that we are drafting now, that's the measurement, is 66 centimeters. So the half of dividing that 66 centimeters into 2 is what? 33 centimeters. Now I will take the measurement of this pattern, okay, the waist of the pattern now, and subtract my actual waist from it. So whatever I get that is remaining will be what I will share to the waist as my darts. Just keep watching. Okay, so having I'm measuring now, and I'm measuring from CB to the inner waistline, and I continue from the inner waistline to the center front. And what I have is what? 44 centimeters. 44 centimeters. So 44 centimeters minus 33 centimeters gives me what? Gives me 11 centimeters. Okay, so that 11 centimeters is what I will use. I will share what? Between here and here. Okay, so first I will start distributing. Okay, now remember that that is reduction. Our waist reduction is 11. That is our darts, our whatever we are going to use to reduce the waist, that's to put darts to the waist, is what? 11. Okay, first I'm going to give the back, center back, it's what? Slanted CB. I'm going to give a slanted CB here for 2 centimeters. Out of this 11, I'm taking 2 centimeters to give to the back. Okay, now from CB, from this point, I take 2 centimeters, and I draw the line. I'm going to draw a straight line connecting from here and going off at this back line. Look at the way it is done. Okay, from here to what? My HP. Okay, so that is my slanted center back. Okay, so this helps the back to be more fitted. When you finish sewing, it gives your clothes a very close fitting, and very beautiful. So the next thing is the position of my darts. For the back line, for the back dart, sorry, I'm going to divide my back width into 4. Whatever I get, that is where the position of my dart would be. Okay, so my back width is okay, so my back width is 9. So from the original CB, I take it and it lands me here. This is where 9 is. Okay, and that is my position, my dart position. For the then the length of the dart towards the bust line, that's up, is between 12 to 13 centimeters, while below the waistline is what? 13 to 15 centimeters. Above the waistline is 12 to 13 centimeters. Below the waistline is 13 to 15 centimeters. So let me get the position, the length. I'm going to, for the sake of this class, I'm going to use 12 centimeters. So this is where 12 centimeters lands me. Okay, then for the lower waistline, for the length, for the dart below the waistline is the length is 13 to 15 centimeters. For the sake of this class, I'm going to be using 13 centimeters as the length. Okay, so I want to get a straight line connecting me to the dart. So that's it. So I draw with my ruler. I'm connecting this point to this point. Okay, it's not very legible. Okay, so this is the position for the waist dart for the back. Then for the front, the position for the front waist dart for the front is the chest width measurement divided by 4. Chest width measurements divided by 4. And the chest width of this pattern is 36. So I am dividing 36 into 4. And when I divide 36 into 4, it gives me what? 9 centimeters. So from the center front, I'll take the value, that's the 9 centimeters. Okay, starting from the center front, and this is what where 9 centimeters lands me. So the position of the length of the dart above the waistline is the same thing as the back. So for this I'm using what 12 centimeters here, and below I'm using 13 centimeters. Okay, so 12, this is where 12 lands, and here 13 centimeters. But at the same time, let me know if okay, so this is where the position of the 9. Okay, this is 9. So with my ruler I connect this point through all this and stop here. So I have gotten my back position, back waist dart position, and front waist dart position. Remember, after getting center back, that is slanted CB, remember it is 2 cm here, 2 cm we used for the slanted CB, and we got where we got the slanted CB, the value for the slanted CB is from the excess of the waist. We're trying to reduce this waist to fit our figure. So 11 minus that 2 that we used here is remaining what 9. Okay, so it is that 9 now that we will share to this back waist dart, front waist dart, and we have what we call slanted center front, slanted CF. Now let me tell you something about slanted CF. Slanted CF is usually put to use when the center front is open. Now in pattern drafting, most times our center front is closed. We always say that center front is on fold. Okay, so if the center front is on fold, there's no need for the slanted CF. But if it is not on fold, if it is open, let's say you are going to make a dress or a cloth that has a button in the front or zip in the front, that is where you need your slanted CF. But apart from that, you don't need your slanted CF if your center front is on fold. So basically I'll give 1 cm to my slanted CF. So from my CF here on the waistline, I'll take what 1 cm. Okay, so and I'll connect it and draw it off at the chest line. Now this is it. Okay, so this is my slanted CF. Now after I have removed 1 from this 9, what is remaining now is what 9 minus 1 is remaining what 8. Okay, so I have 8 to share between the back and the front waist darts. Now the trick here is that because if you are sharing waist darts, you give more darts or more figures to the parts of the bodies that has deeper curves. So between the back and the front, which part has bigger curves? It is the front actually. So for this, I'm just going to give the back, sorry, I'm just going to give the back 2 centimeters as that. Now how do I put the 2 centimeters? I will share it equally on both parts. That is between this line now, both sides of the line. I'm going to give here 1 cm. I'm going to give this side 1 cm. So I mark 1 cm and mark 1 cm. Then with my ruler, I connect it. Connect this the top and okay, and connect to the below the waist too, and this too, and the dart for the back is what ready. Now from this 8, now we have removed how many? 2. Okay, so what we have remaining is 6. Now I'm going to give the front that 6. So usually in my personal practice, I'll give this way, this side, because this is where my breast comes from. This is the side of the bust. So I'm going to share this 2 between in this 6 into 2 places, but they're not going to be equal. I'm going to give 3.5 to this way, and I'm going to give 2.5 this way. Okay, So here I have this is 3.5 and this is 3. Okay. Okay, so I need to also mention that if you don't want your front dart to be so big, just as this is big, you may decide to share it between this front dart and the side seams. Okay, for instance, I may decide, since I have two, I may decide to give the front waist dart 4 cm, then I'll give the back side seam 1 cm and the front side seam 1 cm. Okay, now look at what I mean. If I decide now that, okay, I have, remember, if what I have remaining out of the whole excess is what, 6 centimeters, and I decide, okay, that I don't want to all the darts to remain here. Simple thing I do is what I'm going to take, I'll say, okay, I want to give 4 to this front dart here, and I'll share the remaining 2 to the front side seam and back side seam. How am I going to do it? So I'm going to, it is 4 now, so I'm going to do this way. I'll give this way 2.5, and I'm giving this way 1.5. Okay, so with my ruler I connect this, and just the way I did initially, and this. Okay, so after I have given here, remember it is now remaining 2 cm. Okay, so I'll come here and I'll give it what, I'll give this side 1 and give this side 1. I won't cheat any parts. This is 1 and this is 1. Okay, so I'm going to do this, or rather with my curve, I'll do this, then I'll bring it down with my ruler, or maybe with my curve, just okay. So, and the same thing here. And okay, I just hope this makes sense to you. Don't get confused. These two are two different dart positions, okay, that sizes. So it depends on what you want to achieve. Okay, so this is the wrap, a wrap for our class. Remember to follow us on Instagram at Thimbos Creations, on Facebook at Thimbos Creations, and please do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Thimbos Creations. Thanks for watching. See ya.